Good morning, everyone. Today's topic is animal tissues. The topic is we have studied different kinds of tissues present in plants. Now, the topic is animal tissues. Different kinds of tissues found in animals. Animal tissues are of four types. Animal tissue are four types. First is epithelial. Epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissues. Again, these epithelial tissues are divided into four types. Epithelial tissues are again of four types. Epithelial tissues is made up of closely packed cells. These tissues are made up of closely packed cells. The cell may be flat, cuboidal or columnar. There are no intercellular space in them. No intercellular space is found in this type of tissues. They may be flat, cuboidal or columnar. They are of four types. The function of this type of tissue is to protect the body. The function is to protect the body. It also helps in secretion of mucus and saliva and absorption of digested food. What is the function of this type of tissue? The function of these type of tissues are protection, secretion and absorption. The function of epithelial tissue is protection, secretion and absorption. Epithelial tissues are four types. On the basis of shapes and function, the epithelial tissues are divided into four types. The epithelial tissues, first is equamous. Equamous epithelial tissue. Equamous epithelium tissue. In this tissue, cells are thin and flat. Cells are thin and flat. Location. It forms the lining of cavities of different organs like the mouth and esophagus. Lining means inner layer. This is the organ, any organ it may be. The lining means a layer. It forms a layer inside a organ. This is known as lining. It forms a lining of cavities of different organs. We have a mouth cavity. In this mouth cavity, equamous epithelium tissue forms a lining and lining of esophagus also. Forms lining function of this type, function of equamous tissue is it protect the underlying parts of the body from injury and prevent entry germ. What is the function? The function is prevent the body part from injury and prevent the entry of germ. Prevent the entry of germs. This is all about the equamous epithelium tissue. The cells of equamous epithelium tissue are thin and frayed. What is the function? What is the function? It prevent the body parts from injury and prevent the entry of germs. And it found in inner lining of different organs. This is all about the equamous epithelium tissue. The next tissue of epithelium tissue is columnar epithelium tissue. As the name given, columnar, it means they are in the form of column. Cells are long and column-like. Column-like cell. Location. They form the inner lining of the stomach and intestine. Same here, they columnar epithelium tissue is also form the inner lining of organ, and here the organ are stomach and small intestine. Lining of stomach and intestine. Function. Function of columnar tissue is, the main function is absorption of digested food in small intestine and secretion of mucus. Absorption of digested food in small intestine and secretion of mucus. This is the all about columnar epithelium. The third type of epithelium tissue is cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium. Same here, as the name given, cuboidal, it means the cells of this type of tissue is in the form of cube. Cells are cube-like. Location, it found in the inner lining of kidney and tubules. It forms inner lining of kidney tubules and grain like and glands. Like sweat gland. Kidney tubules. Here is this type is kidney. It forms. These are the kidney. These are the kidney and these are the tubules. So this type of tissue, columnar tissue, forms the inner lining of this tubules and inner lining of glands. And which glands? Sweat glands. The function of this tissue is it helps in excretion and absorption and secretion. What is the function? Absorption in kidney tubules, because it absorbs salt and minerals from the waste product. Excretion, absorption and secretion. These are the function of this cuboidal epithelium tissue. The next and last one is ciliated epithelium. The fourth type of epithelium tissue is ciliated. Ciliated epithelium tissue. Same here. Cilia it means small hair-like structure is found on them. It is just like a columnar epithelium tissue, but there is a difference of cilia present on them. Here is cilia present, but in columnar epithelium tissue there is a absence of cilia. Cells are tall and column-like. Same here. Cells are tall and column-like, but they have cilia. Cilia means small thread-like structure. These are cilia. The location of these tissue, it found in the inner lining of windpipe and bronchi. Forms the inner lining of windpipe and bronchi. Function of this tissue is it causes movement of particle in one direction through the ducts. What is the function? Movement of particles in one direction. Downwards through the ducts. Ducts are the very small tubes. Very small tubes are known as ducts. This is all about the epithelial tissue. The next is connective tissue. The connective tissue, the another part of animal tissue is connective tissue. As the name given, this type of tissue connect some organ, some parts, some glands to another. Connective tissue is a connecting and supporting tissue. They are connecting and supporting. They support the other tissues. It connects different tissues and organs. It also gives support to different organs to keep them affixed in their proper position. They affix the tissue, organs and cell to be in their proper position. The cells of connective tissues are living. The cell of this type of tissue is living. They have spaces between them. There is a difference in epithelium tissue and connective tissue. They do not have intercellular space in them, but here is they have intercellular space between them. These spaces are filled with a gel-like substances called matrix. Suppose these are the cells. They are having spaces in them. These spaces are filled with gel or matrix-like structure and work as a gel or to affix, to paste something, to put them together just like a glue. And this is matrix. These spaces are filled with the gel-like substances called matrix. The connective tissue is again divided into three parts. Connective tissue are three types. One is fibrous connective tissue. Fibrous connective tissue is of two types. Again, the fibrous tissues are two types: loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue. The one is loose connective tissue. As the name given, loose, they have the loose bonding in them. These are again divided into two types: areolar and adipose. Areolar, it is present between the skin and muscles. Between skin and muscles. Then and around blood vessels and nerves. Around vessels and nerves. The function of this tissue is it binds the skin to another underlying organ. What is the function? It bind the underlying organ. Again, this areolar loose connective tissue are divided into two parts. One is collagen fiber and other is elastic fiber. They give strength and elasticity to the tissue. As the name given, elasticity means they have the capacity to stretch. Next is adipose tissue. It is made up of fat cell. Adipose means made up of fat cell. Then it founds below the skin and between the internal organ. These are the found between skin and muscles. Here is below the skin and between the internal organ. Below the skin and internal organ. Internal organ. Function of this tissue is it stores energy in the form of fat. As the fat is present here, it means this type of tissue has the energy in the form of fat. it stores the energy for the cell or for the body. This is the first type of fibrous tissue, which is loose connective tissue, and the second one is dense connective tissue. Dense, as the name given, dense means thick. Dense fibrous connective tissue. Dense fibrous connective tissue. It has more fibers than the loose connective tissue. It means there is a loose fiber, the number of fibers are less. But here it has more fibers than the loose connective tissue. It is of two types. Same here. There was a areolar and adipose tissue. Here is tendon and ligament. Tendon and ligament. Tendon. Tendon is a flexible and inelastic. These are flexible and inelastic. They do not have the capacity of elasticity. It is made up of fibroblast, a spindle-shaped cell, and these cells are known as fibroblast. The cell name is fibroblast, and the function of this tissue is it connects the muscles to bone. Connect the muscles to bone. It helps in the movement of bones on contraction and relaxation muscles. Movement of bone. It helps in movement of This is all about the dense fibrous connective tissue, and it is also of two types. And the first one is tendon. They are flexible and inelastic, and the cells are made up of fibroblast, which is spindle in shape and made up of collagen fiber. The function of this type of tissues are: it connects the muscle to bone. It helps the movement of the bone on contraction and relaxation. The second one is ligament. Ligament is an elastic tissue structure. Elastic. They have the elasticity. Made up of fibroblast and collagen fiber. Same here. Tendon is also made up of fibroblast and collagen. Function. It connects a bone to another bone. Connect a bone to another bone. It helps in bending and rotation movement. Bending and rotation movement of bone. In here, relaxation and contraction of bone. This is all about the fibrous connective tissue. They are of two types: loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue. Loose connective tissue is again of two types: areolar tissue and adipose tissue. Dense connective tissue is again of two types: tendon and ligament. The second part of connective tissue is supportive connective tissue. The second part of connective tissue is supportive connective tissue. Supportive connective tissue of two types. This is again two types. First is bone and other is cartilage. Bone is the main supportive tissue in animals with a backbone. We have a backbone at our back. The main supportive tissue is backbone. It is very strong, porous and non-flexible. Strong, porous and non-flexible. It is made up of bone cells or osteoblast. Made up of osteoblast. The cells present in bone is known as osteoblasts. The bone cell occupy very small space. They occupy only little space. They are embedded in the hard matrix. They occupy a small space and they are embedded in hard matrix. Our backbone, they are embedded, they are pushed in between the matrix. The matrix is present in the form of connective concentric layer around the central canal. Concentric layer, just like this. These are the concentric layer. They are in concentric layer. Concentric layer. Around the central canal. The matrix contains salts of calcium, magnesium and phosphorus. Contains salt. Which salt? Magnesium, calcium and phosphorus. They make the bone hard and rigid. This salt make the bone hard and rigid. This salt make the bone hard and rigid. This is the structure of bone. They are strong, porous and non-flexible. They do not flexible and they do not move. Made up of osteoblasts. The cells present in this is known as osteoblasts. They occupy small space. They need very small space and embedded in the hard matrix. Embedded means fixed. They are fixed in hard matrix. They have concentric layers. It means layers. Same having the same point, same center for the another layer. It contains salt like magnesium, calcium and phosphorus. Due to this salt, the bones become hard and rigid. This is the structure of bone. Now, location, it is found all over the body in our skeletal part from head to toe. The function of this is, what is the function of bones? They give a proper structure, proper shape of body. It give framework or give a definite shape. definite shape to a living organism. It helps in the movement of the body, help in movement, helps in movement. They protect the internal organ like brain, heart and lungs. They protect the internal organ, heart, lungs and brain. This is all about the bone. We all know about bone very well. Now the second part of supportive connective tissue is cartilage. Cartilage is made up of matrix, The matrix has a large number of species. It has large space in them. These species have one or more cell called chondrocytes. One or more cells called chondrocytes. The name of cell present in cartilage are called chondrocytes. Cartilage does not have a blood supply. There is no blood circulation in them. No blood supply in them. It is non-porous and flexible in nature. Non-porous and flexible. Different from the bones. Bones are porous, but cartilage are non-porous, and same as the non-porous. Bones are porous and non-flexible, but here is cartilage is non-porous but flexible. This is the cells of cartilage. Now location of this cell, it found in the ear pinna. We have a ear pinna like this. This is the ear pinna, nose tip and lower end of ribs, at the last of the rib. Around the trachea and larynx. These cells, these tissues are found in the ear pinna, nose tip, lower end of ribs, around the trachea and larynx, between the vertebrae and at the knee joint. This is the location of cartilage. Now function. The function of cartilage is it protects the bones of the joint and vertebrae from wear and tear. It protects the bones from wear and tear. It gives the flexibility, shape and support to some of the body parts like nose and ear. This is all about the supportive connective tissue. There are two types of supportive connective tissue. First is bone and other is cartilage. Bone is the main supportive tissue. They are strong, porous and non-flexible. Cartilage are different from this. Cartilage are porous, non-porous but flexible. It is made up of osteoblasts, but cartilage are made up of chondrocytes. They are embedded in matrix, fixed in matrix. Bones are fixed in matrix and having concentric layer around the central canal, and contains different kinds of salts, and these salts make the bone rigid and hard, and the salts are calcium, magnesium and phosphorus. They have the blood supply in them through the blood vessels. They are found in all over the body from head to toes. The function of bone is give a framework and definite shape to the body. They help in the movement of body. They protect the internal organ like brain, heart and lungs. Cartilage is made up of matrix. The main part of cartilage is matrix. They have large number of spaces. These spaces have one or more cell, and these cells are called chondrocytes. Cartilage does not have a blood supply. It is non-porous and flexible in nature. Location where the cartilages are found: it found in the ear pinna, nose tip, lower end of the ribs, around the trachea, larynx, and between the vertebrae and at the knee joint. The function of cartilage is it protects the bones of the joints and vertebrae from wear and tear. It gives flexibility, shape and support to some of the body parts like nose and ear. This is all about the second type of connective tissue, and the third is fluid connective tissue, which we will take in our next class. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you.